So welcome friends. Today's video is going to be a long one, I expect. I'm doing a video for the end of this solo for theme 1. And in video 2, I left you with homework to play up to the part of the B major. Right there. And so in this video, I'm gonna, at the bottom, you'll see music notation and what they call tablature. And I'm gonna throw out the disclaimer that I'm not expecting viewers to understand the score exactly, or the tablature. But it's here as an aid to help me explain this. I'm going to show you the notes. We're not going to focus on what we call ornamentation, but we are going to focus on where the notes are on the fretboard. So for example, if you were bending a string and I was trying to play this B on the 12th fret, I could play that note actually on the 10th fret, same note. So I use what they call a whole step bend. If it was a half a step bend, it would be, I could play it on the 11th fret and do a half step bend into the B on the 12th fret. And you'll see this, I guess, in measure 4 here on the screen, where it goes from the 12th fret, a whole step, up to the note on the 14th fret. So, and it's played. We're not going to do that exactly as written. And so I'm not entirely sure that the transcription that I have that I'm even showing here is entirely correct. I have found mistakes in it already. Like in the earlier part of theme 1. But anyhow, what we're going to do is we're going to do this in 4 separate phrases to finish out theme 1. Okay, so if you notice in the first measure, there's 4 notes. There's 3 notes with a grace note, and a grace note's the little tiny note before the F sharp. There's the F sharp. But they're showing a grace note. We're going to ignore all. I'll call it the fancy stuff. We're gonna ignore all that, and we're gonna focus on the notes. And then you can go back and you can, well, here. You didn't really hear that I played an E and then slid into the F sharp. That's the grace note. That's what they're trying to convey in this music here. And that's those 3 notes in the first measure. And then, so it's really just 3 notes again. There's ornamentation, there's a grace note, the squiggly line that you see is a tremolo. And a tremolo on a classical guitar would be moving your finger back and forth horizontally on the neck of the guitar. And if you're a string, I'll say a string player for an orchestra, you'd play cello or viola or violin. That tremolo would be played horizontally to the neck. On an electric guitar with distortion and singing sustain, we're going to play it like up and down. And all it is that squiggly line is showing you that there's tremolo required, and so there's a wavering there. So I'm going to play the first 6 notes again. And that's the note you see just before with that's an A. And that's in the 3rd measure. That's where I ended. And then the string of the notes with the double bars on the bottom, that they're 16th notes. So I'm going to start from the beginning again. So I'm going to slow it down. And when I did that high note is on the 4th measure. And you see the tremolo there. And it's on the 12th fret. If you look below the score of the music, you'll see the 12th fret with the up arrow showing that it's bent, and I'm not playing it like that. So let me play it all the way through to the last note on this that you see here. So the last note, I did play the 14th fret, but I bent it. I bent the strings so that it actually sounded the note that would be on the 16th fret, or here. So let me play it again. Like that. What you'll have to do is you'll have to learn the notes, and if you look at the tab below the written musical notation, those numbers correspond to the frets on the guitar. The numbers for the frets. And the up arrows, they show the bends, and then the like on the 2nd measure, you'll notice where it says 7-9. That means that you're sliding up from the 7th fret to the 9th fret, and you're doing that on the 2nd string. And then you're using tremolo on the 7th fret on the 1st string. So 7th fret, 1st string is like, but I'm not using that finger that I just showed there. So let me go back again. So I don't want to confuse anyone. That's the higher note, or that's the A on the 3rd measure that I was just using the tremolo effect. So learn it without the effects. Don't focus on the slides like on measure 1 with the 5 to the 7. You know, that grace note, it just means to quickly hit the 5th fret and slide to the 7th fret, almost as if that instance in time wasn't even there. It's very, very quick. So just play the first three notes, and then play the like that, and don't play the grace notes. And you can go back after you feel like you play along with the official video, and you're playing the solo. You probably won't even notice that you're not playing the grace notes if Joe Satriani's playing the same thing that you're playing. That's the way that it's taught. Classical guitar teacher would take you through the music. You would go through a very difficult classical piece, and you would play the entire thing. You would learn the entire thing without the ornamentation. And so it kind of reminds me, it's Christmas time, so it's like, it's all about the Christmas tree. It's not about the ornaments. But you know that Mrs. Wilson's Christmas tree looks the same every year because she uses the same ornamentation. We know if you learned 10 or 15 songs by Joe Satriani, you would start to learn his ornamentation. That's what sets him apart from somebody else. If he's playing, you go, oh, that's Joe Satriani. Or Eddie Van Halen's playing something, and you're like, oh, that's Eddie Van Halen. But that's all in. But another guitar player can play the same melody, and it may not sound like the person that actually created the music originally. All right. I'm gonna leave you with that, and we'll move to phrase 2. The next 4 measures, from 43 to measure 46, I'm gonna talk about more in a mechanical nature. We're gonna talk about the tablature that you see below. From fret 18 with a half bend down to fret 16 and then fret 19 on the second string. And then with measure 44, we're going to do fret a half bend on fret 18, first string, another half bend on the first string, fret 18, and then fret 19 on the second string, and then 16. And then a full or a whole tone bend from fret 19. So that would be from fret 19, 20 to 21. So we're gonna use about 3 fingers on the 19th fret to bend a whole step as if we were playing the note on fret 21. Then the very last measure that you see on the second string, we're going to move to the 17th fret, and we're going to do a full bend or a whole tone bend as if we were playing the 19th fret on the second string. But we're going to do that from the second string, the 17th fret. And that's where we end this, what I'm calling phrase 2, the second part of the ending for theme 1. It's measure 46. So we have from fret 18, we have I'll do it again. Okay. And we'll move to phrase 3 now. Phrase 3 begins with measure 47. And again, look to the tablature at the bottom. We're going to start on fret 16. And we're going to like fall down the hill. It's kind of how I think of it. It's like falling off a cliff. You'll notice that the notes have 3 lines. They're 30-second notes, so they're fast. And so we're gonna play fret 16, and then we're gonna fall down the hill or fall off the cliff, so to speak, from frets 15, 14 to 13, and all in that same motion we're going to slide from 13 here back to 14. So I played both measures that time, but when we start with fret 16, we play fret 16. So you notice that it's very fast, the 30-second notes for fret 15, 14, 13, and then sliding to 11. And then we played 2 tied notes with, I don't want to get into music theory, but from 12 to 11, and then 14 on the second string. Okay, so it's and I told you before about tremolo, and I guess in the first part of this video, I talked about tremolo. And I've noticed even myself playing tremolo in a horizontal direction as well. It's subtle. When you move your finger in a horizontal direction, up and down the length of the fingerboard, you sometimes can hear it, but the reason why it's very subtle on an electric guitar, or even on an acoustic guitar and a guitar in general, is because of that the guitar is a fretted instrument, and the string instruments in the orchestra, they're fretless. And so when they play a vibrato, it's more pronounced because they're moving their finger horizontally along the fretboard, but they're changing. They're not only are they wavering the note's actually changing its frequency by a little bit. Now that's a scientific way of explaining it, but the note is going in and out of tune. So it's more pronounced on a fretless instrument. Okay, we'll move now to phrase 4. All right, we're at phrase 4, and it's measures 49, 50, and 51. And I want to make a correction. The wavered notes that you see on measure 51, the squiggly line that runs horizontal on the last note, is called vibrato, and I've made a mistake by describing it as tremolo. It's vibrato, and there's two different types of vibrato. There's horizontal along the fretboard, and then there's up and down. That's the vibrato on fret 19 on measure 51. All right, so these last three measures, we start on fret 19. So we have so that's kind of slow, but it's like that. So again, we go back to 49. You look at the tablature, you see it's fret 19, then fret 18 on the third string, full bend or a whole step, back down to the note on fret 18. That's what that curved line means. So essentially you're playing the note on the 20th fret of the third string, but you're playing it using the 18th fret and doing a whole step bend. Then you're going back to 18 on the third string, unbent, right? You fell back to that note on the 18th fret, and then fret 16 on the third string, and then the note on the bottom string. You may get frustrated on this part where you see the third string on this fret 16, you see fret 16 on the first string, and then you see fret 16 again on the third string. You may have to adjust your overdrive, your distortion pedal. It seems to have some odd harmonics, and so it kind of bugged me as I was learning it. Then you go to fret 19 on the second string and do a whole step bend. That's why they're calling a full bend. So up to the 21st fret, the note there. So you go back to 19. Just, you bend it up to the note on fret 21, and then you're back to 19 on the same string. And then the tremolo, and I wouldn't even try the horizontal. I called it tremolo again. The horizontal vibrato, I would do the vertical vibrato. Just so that it's pronounced and your listener can hear it. Okay, that's it. We're done with theme 1, and the next video we'll dive into theme 2, which is minor in nature. It's not B major anymore. It switches to a minor. And with that, I'll end the video, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.